Oh man, I really want to be part of the superhero group. I mean, I've tried out a bunch of times for a few different ones and just never get the call back. But I know this time's going to be my time. It's going to be my time.
Okay. You need to just calm down.
I can't help it. I'm just so excited.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you wanna calm down, just chill out for a minute. What you should do is listen to the Pod Bros Network.
The Pod Bros Network.
Yeah, they've got tons of different podcasts. They've got stuff about video games, stuff about movies. They've even got Pencil and Ink Reviews, which is one about comic books, which is about superheroes, which is what you are.
Oh, there's a podcast I can be on, huh?
Sure. I mean, you'd have to chill out a bit, but okay.
Sweet. I'm going to download those right now.
All right. Sounds good.
So, what's your superpower, by the way?
Oh, me, I say sentences that are slightly homoerotic. I like penis.
Maybe we should just listen to the Pod Bros Network.
I like penis. What's up, everybody? I'm Richard.
And I'm Shawn.
And we're speaking the language of bromance. And what better way to celebrate bromance than a geekgasm all over your...
everything.
Yeah, all over your bodies.
You know what? It's that time of year where, there's people in outfits running around. There's all this, geek news and nerd news. It's, this is the time of year for Comic-Con.
Oh, it feels so good. Oh, it's probably one of my favorite times of the year. I'm not going to lie to you.
And this is one of those things that, every show that kind of does stuff like us is going to talk about probably the same things we are, but
that doesn't stop us from talking about them. Damn it.
No, because you have to, because there's just so much awesomeness going on.
Yeah, exactly. It's like if you don't comment on it, they'll be like, well, what? Like, I think that if we don't say, hey, this came out and this came out and this came out, like they would have to pull our nerd card.
Yeah, I think that's what they do,
and deservedly so.
It's like Comic-Con. What we're too, what is it, like the emo kids from South Park, posers or conformists. We're not going to talk about Comic-Con because we're not conformists.
Comic-Con conformists.
Oh my god!
But we totally are, because I was chomping at the bit all weekend. I'm scrolling through and I'm like, holy shit, this happened. Holy shit, this happened. I'm watching like panel footage. I feel bad for my friends and family because they probably thought I was having an affair. That's probably what happened.
Well, it seems now too where, before all this stuff you had to catch on like a grainy phone or something, or you just basically had to read what somebody saw at the Comic-Con, but it seems like every single panel is online and in like good footage. Like it's actual Comic-Con's releasing this footage for you to watch.
I totally agree. E3, I think, has also done that in a big, bad way, and I am totally psyched for it. The fact that you have Bethesda, when they did their E3 conference, I mean, you had cameras everywhere, and I mean, they shot it like a press event, and you could stream it online and get the same, not necessarily the same experience as the people sitting in the theater, but you get the same information sitting at home in real time. And the fact that Comic-Con's done that and E3's done that, yeah, I'm more power to it. I mean, that doesn't stop us all from wanting to be there, obviously.
It's the next best thing, though, because in those crowds, they're 5,000-6,000 seat arenas, basically.
Oh yeah, Hall H, I think, has expanded, so now they can seat about 6,500 people, and that's just one hall. I mean, that's their main hall. That's where you see the big panels like Star Wars and DC and those. But I mean, there's little panels going on all over downtown, and it makes my heart glad.
So speaking of Hall H, I mean, everybody listening to this probably has a pretty good idea of what Comic-Con is. Hall H had some awesome stuff come out of it. And I think it's one thing that you and I have talked about for a while And I didn't really realize this until I listened to our last San Diego or our last Comic-Con episode, but they had released the very first teaser trailer of Batman v Superman, and this year they just gave you a decent Monty view. I mean, they had a 4-minute trailer.
Holy shit. Yeah, it was like 4.5 minutes. 4.5 minutes of you see Superman in there, and Batman's in there, and Alfred's in there. Clark Kent, Wonder Woman, Lex Luthor.
I probably watched that video 3 times that day and probably another 6 or 7 times since then. I mean, it is a good trailer.
Yeah, DC whipped its fucking dick out and slapped it on the table hard.
My first reaction, I'm pretty sure I said it out loud after I was done. I said, "Holy shit." I was already going to go, and I was going to kind of go in with arms probably halfway crossed where I'm kind of like, is this going to depress me?
Right.
But, I mean, it looked good. It looked legit.
I was going to say, the sad fact of the matter is, and anyone who either, makes some sort of commentary on this stuff or is just, has their geek cred in general, would they make their opinions about these trailers and these, I don't know about this and Batman doesn't look the greatest and what about this? But the fact of the matter is we're all still going to see these movies.
Yeah.
And that's true. But that being said, yes, of course we're going to see these movies, but we still want them to be good.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
We want them to be good.
So, I mean, this was really one of our first looks at a full... I mean, we've seen Batman a little bit, but this was the first time in full action. We see him in a couple different outfits, and I think he looks badass. Like, I think Ben Affleck, I think he's going to be a great Bruce Wayne, and I think he's going to be an awesome Batman. It is a little bit, not a ton of stuff, I mean, it could still suck, but from this little piece, it looks like he's going to fill the role pretty well.
Yeah, I think he's probably they took a take on Frank Miller's outfit for the Batman outfit where like the ears are kind of short and have that kind of curve to them.
And did you see and that's something else that's pretty awesome in this is just the different shots that they did. I mean, did you catch the iconic Batman on the side of a building with a strike of lightning?
Yes, I did.
They're doing everything somewhat right, it seems, at least from the little bit I've heard. I watched the panel too, and I got a little something I'll talk to you a little bit later on this, kind of a tidbit of the movie itself. But it seems like they all come into this with trying to make a good movie.
Agreed. And one note I would say on Batman is they also went with from what I've seen, it seems like they're going with the Dark Knight Returns kind of Batman, where he's a little bit older. Yeah. And he's kind of he's been Batman for a while. I mean, I'm sure we're going to get like what I'm hoping for one quick flashback sequence of his parents getting shot, because I feel like that's something that I feel like it's something that everybody does, even though they don't necessarily need to. Like, if you don't know Batman's origin story by this point, like, what the hell are you doing? What are you doing?
I hope what they showed in the trailer is pretty much all of it, because, yeah, if it goes on too long, you're wasting screen time at that point.
Exactly. I'm fine with a 20-second little flashback thing, and there's his parents getting shot. Hey, there's Batman. All right, let's get back to it. But
let's get going with this.
It seems like he's an older Batman, and he's been doing this for a while. And did you catch? And maybe this was just out of the wishful thinking on my part, but I swear I saw a Robin suit.
Yes. I've seen the screenshot of it. It's the part where it's written in some kind of like Joker-esque look of Gotham, the joke's on you, haha.
Yes.
And there's an R on it. And I've heard a bunch of people already talk about how, because in the trailer, as Bruce Wayne's talking, he mentions he's been doing this for like 20 years. So It seems like they're going to go with like the whole origin of, it's almost like when you pick up a Batman comic now, like all the 20 years or whatever has happened. So they always, Jason Todd was killed by the Joker. So in this universe, the theory is that that's going to have happened. And maybe they bring the Red Hood in at some point.
Right. And obviously we don't know that, but that's what the stars are seeming to align to. And I'm totally down with it. All right, fucking Joker killed Robin, and sweet, okay. And Batman's older, but he's still a badass. He's got his fucking suit and his kick-ass car. I'm down. I was pretty pumped. I'm not gonna lie. The Superman stuff, it seemed so. I will say some of the Superman stuff seemed a little heavy-handed to me.
Okay, in what way?
And in the way that the bit where there's the family in the flood, and they paint the S on the roof of their house, and they're like reaching out to him, and he's just standing there like he's Jesus fucking Christ.
Well, isn't that like a pretty iconic shot in one of the comics though, where he's kind of doing this like descent in front of the sun? I thought somebody showed that.
I get it. Like, he's super powered and not, compared to, say Batman or the Joker or Arrow or the Flash, he can't really hold a candle. But I don't know. To me, I'm just like, holy shit, it's the Holy Trinity.
Well, I know in a panel they were talking, he kind of mentioned that, he basically plays a god. So they are playing that up as, he is more than just a superhero. He is basically a god, I guess, is the way they're wanting to play it.
That's the way I've noticed it, too. I guess that's why I say it seems heavy-handed.
Yeah. But what I love, too, so I was always curious after Man of Steel, a lot of people were talking about, it's like there's a lot of destruction here. How is that going to play out okay in any kind of future movie?
Yeah, we said that. We were both like, they fucked up Metropolis hard. Superman and Zod, there was a crater at one point.
And I don't know, I'm kind of curious if the play on this, because, we see Bruce Wayne basically running into that situation, his building's getting destroyed by these two fighting. So he's at ground zero. He's there when this is happening. And I'm curious if this is all by accident or if this was planned. Has DC just kind of fallen into a good story that makes sense accidentally, or was somebody behind the scenes, molding this story together, 4 years ago?
Oh, I get. So you're saying, did they intentionally basically turn Metropolis into a smoking crater to set up the next movie?
Yeah, or were they just like, oh, we're going to have this awesome fight scene and everybody's going to love it, and they release it,
yeah.
And,
and then afterwards everybody's like, how many people do you think died?
It's like, there was an awful lot of buildings collapsing. Don't you think people are going to be upset about that?
I wonder if there were people in them.
But I saw there's a video of somebody put the two GIFs on top of each other. So there's one where the two are from Man of Steel when they're fighting in the building, and they show on the bottom how it plays with Batman running in. So they kind of show, hey, here's the scene that's happening in this new scene of the new movie, and that was pretty cool.
Okay.
But speaking of, I don't know if you've heard this, but it's kind of interesting. So we see Bruce Wayne in Metropolis in the trailer. His building gets destroyed. And the one thing that's kind of going away from the canon or any of the real comic book stuff that I don't even know if this has ever been talked about, but they're basically treating Gotham and Metropolis like twin cities. They are basically right next to each other with a harbor in the middle.
Yeah, I've noticed that too. It's like Gotham is like the New Jersey of Metropolis.
Yeah, I think he compared it to Oakland and San Francisco.
Yeah.
So Metropolis is the thriving, good city. Some people have to take like a ferry from Gotham over to basically work as not really indentured servants, but do the crappy jobs in Metropolis, and they have to go back to their shitty place in Gotham where crime's ridiculous and all this other stuff.
But they've had Batman, damn it.
They do, and I'm hoping they don't write themselves into a weird hole, because if Batman's, because that's the other thing that's weird, because they can really do anything with this, because you could have Batman around, Robin, but you could have all these fights with the Joker, Mr. Freeze. You can do whatever you want, but it's if across the harbor all this crazy shit's going on, there's a bat vigilante, there's, a guy running around calling himself the Joker. Don't you think the people in Metropolis would kind of know that?
Right. And also, don't you think the people in Metropolis would care? Or are they just like, it's fucking Gotham, like, who gives a shit?
Maybe, I don't know.
Nobody gives a shit about Gotham. It's like that one movie, Elysium. It's like, we don't give a shit about the people on Earth. We're in the satellite. We're in fucking Metropolis. Fuck those Gothamites. All they know how to say is, yes, would you like fries with that?
But I do like the fact that they're playing on this is the older Batman, like you said. So, like, how awesome would it be if we get to the Batcave and there's a big T-Rex? There's a big, penny.
Oh, I know. That's my thing, is the giant penny. If they show the giant penny, I'm probably gonna audibly scream. There's a penny. And then my wife will move 4 seats down.
Well, she won't be able to because the theater will be packed, but...
Good point.
But, I mean, you can bring in Jason Todd, Batgirl. I mean, is Batgirl going to be in this, or is she going to be Oracle? You could start her out just as Oracle. And you could do some kind of... I mean, you could do a prequel to that stuff where you show her getting her back broke.
Exactly. I mean, honestly, at this point, considering that you're introducing Batman and you're setting up Batman where he's at, also, you're introducing Wonder Woman and Aquaman, because from what I know, he's slightly, like, he's in the movie-ish.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
So, with all that going on, to me, I see this as their way of opening up their universe, their quote-unquote DC universe. Like, this is what we can fucking do.
Well, I love the fact that it's not, okay, here's all these stories leading up to the big group. It's just like, here's the group. They've been around for a long time. Now let's go see them do awesome shit.
Yeah.
We'll fill you in with, how they got their powers and, who they are and whatnot. But, you people are smart. They're superheroes and they're going to do their thing.
Yeah. Them scare ya.
So the only complaints I really have so far with this trailer is, and I didn't realize this until I watched the panel, but the person playing Alfred, well, there's two things. So the person playing Alfred, at first, I didn't know who he was.
Jeremy Irons, isn't it?
I'm not sure what his name was. But because he has a few tidbits. He's saying Alfred-y things, but to me, it didn't jump out. Like when you see Michael Caine do his, it's like, oh, that's Alfred. It makes sense. That's Alfred. But this guy really didn't seem to give off any kind of like, oh, I am Alfred. He just seemed... He was
the guy that was saying what turns a good man cruel?
Something like that, yeah.
Right, okay, yeah, that's Jeremy Irons. He was the bad guy in... here's a poll. He was the bad guy in the 2001-ish... adaptation of Dungeons and Dragons.
Nice.
Which I do own on DVD.
Well, when I first saw him, I thought he was Commissioner Gordon. And then after I figured out that he was Alfred, that made me think, it's like, I didn't see Commissioner Gordon in this at all.
Oh.
Are they just going to completely ignore that character altogether, or has he died?
Well, possibly not, because here you go. Here's a segue for you. From what I understand, Ben Affleck is scheduled, well, it's rumored, as far as I know, to write, star in, and direct a solo Batman movie.
Called The Batman. That's what I've heard.
Called The Batman. So you might see Commissioner Gordon in that. You might see Robin in that, or the Joker, or Oracle, or Batgirl. That opens up that entire catalog of villains. Also, you could go everywhere with it.
Well, they own all the characters too, so they can do whatever they want. They're not
exactly.
They're not in the Marvel trap.
That's the point I've been arguing since fucking forever, is the fact that while Marvel is doing amazing things, they're doing it with one hand tied behind their back because they don't own all their characters. DC does. DC Warner Brothers does. They own Batman, they own Superman and Wonder Woman and Green Lantern and the Justice League and all that shit. So you could do so much more with it, and you can put so much continuity into it that you could actually make the DC universe, I would say, more structurally sound from a story standpoint than Marvel. And like I said, and plus also have all the heavy hitters.
Well, I think that's a good segue into, so the other big news, or the other big panel, was the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
So you're talking about they own all the characters, so they can make this more of a, they just have more control over this. I think, you have an Iron Man standalone movie. It's just Iron Man.
Right.
In Suicide Squad, in the trailer they've shown, you have Batman in it. And it seems like he plays a pretty pivotal part. It's not just, Captain America flashing on the screen for a minute. It's Batman actually doing something in this movie.
Agreed. I'm combining what I've seen in the trailer with footage that people have taken on their camera phones of them filming stuff for the trailer. But there's a scene where Batman is on top of the car, which I assume to be the Joker's car, considering it looks like the Fast and Furious went to Candyland.
I think there was pictures of that car. It almost looks like the Joker's face was on the hood of the car.
I think so, and it had like the little pink neon lights at the bottom of it. But Batman's on top of that car, so as far as I know, like you said, he's doing something in the fucking movie. It's not just, hey, look, there's that guy.
That's Batman and I'm curious that part, because Harley Quinn's in the car because she makes a sound in there, so it's not. I don't know where that fits in the movie. Is this the beginning of it where he captures them, or is this the end where he comes in because the Suicide Squad fails, so he cleans up the mess?
Possibly.
The theory or the thoughts I've heard is that the Suicide Squad's target in this movie is the Joker, which we get a very good look at the Joker. I'm curious what you think.
We do. At this point, I'm a little ambiguous. And I was actually, this is so sad. I was talking to my wife about it, and by talking to her about, the performance of the Joker, basically I was talking at her. And she just nodded and smiled because she's a lovely woman and she indulges me. At this point, I have seen almost every incarnation of performance when it comes to the Joker. I mean, you can go back to Cesar Romero in the Batman 66 TV series, to Jack Nicholson, to Mark Hamill in the animated series and the games, to Heath Ledger, and now Jared Leto. To me, the Joker is such a versatile character in terms of the fact that he's very unpredictable. And it's always this balance of humor versus psychotic. And it seems like everybody strikes the balance in a different way.
Yeah, because with Heath Ledger, that character would make jokes, and I don't ever remember wanting to laugh at too many of his jokes. You had I'm going to make this pencil disappear. And boom, slams a dude's head in there. And you laugh about it.
I laughed at that.
But then you kind of feel guilty about it.
You laugh and then you're like, oh.
Because I'm trying to think. I'm pretty sure I was because I think we've talked about this. When that happened, I laughed really, really loud in the audience. And I was the only one.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah, I think I was too, actually.
Yeah, because I think you and I have talked about that before. And for the rest of the movie, I'm like very conscientious about laughing at his jokes. I'm like, come on, everybody, it's the Joker. It's laughs, it's fun.
Well, it's also like it was subtle things when it came to, okay, we're talking about Heath Ledger. It was subtle things with him. It was like when they are driving Harvey Dent through the tunnels, and the semi truck pulls up, the Joker's in, and he starts shooting up the armored car. On the side of the truck, it said laughter, but then he spray painted an S and an L in front of it, so it spelled slaughter.
I didn't notice that.
Like that, I saw that and I was like, that's funny. But of course, I didn't laugh out loud at that because I realized that would have been inappropriate.
But yeah, so I mean, we get less than like 10 seconds of his character. And the first thing I noticed right away is he has the tattoos. So I'm not sure what that, because I thought somebody said that no, he doesn't have the tattoos. You know, he does not have the tattoos. But obviously he does. I'm wondering if, because in that scene, there's other little bits. So I pieced together that is the Harley Quinn origin story. That piece when he's walking into that office or that lab has the shockers. It looks like it is, you know, because the girl on the thing that he's talking to is saying, and have you tried to do the voice yet? I've been working on it all week.
I have not. I can't place it. Like I can't figure out the pitch for it. I don't know.
Yeah, I know it's ever since Heath Ledger, I keep thinking like that would be the ideal part to play. Like you just play an insane person, and you know you can make jokes in inappropriate times.
I guess okay. So the point I was trying to make when it came to the Joker is, I don't really know what to expect, and I don't really have any expectations at this point about Jared Leto's performance as the Joker. I guess that for me at this point, I'm hoping that he puts forth a different take and something interesting.
Yeah,
because I feel like I've seen different incarnations of it, and there's things that I've liked and disliked about all of them.
Yeah, because Jack Nicholson was just more of it was him, just as kind of a louder, you know, ringling, like a circus ringleader kind of thing.
Right, because Jack Nicholson in every single movie he's in plays himself.
Yeah, this town needs an enema.
And in this case, he was himself with makeup.
And Heath Ledger, I think that was a completely different take on that. It's a more realistic. This is a guy who probably doesn't even know where he came from. Just crazy guy who doesn't care about anything except chaos.
Right. And then take somebody like Mark Hamill. I would say Mark Hamill was probably closer to what the comic books have kind of been.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Where he kind of like flip-flops between being, you know, a goofy kind of weirdo to a stone cold killer.
Yeah, that flipped on a dime kind of thing. The guy who pulls the trigger on the gun that says bang, and then, you know, the next time he does it,
and then pulls the trigger again and then kills somebody.
Yeah, exactly. But with the Jared Leto piece, you know, it almost seems like they're keeping it very close to the Heath Ledger. Because, you know, when he walks in, he kind of...
I would agree with that. It seems like they're playing it more psychotic.
Yeah, I'm not going to kill you. I'm just going to hurt you really bad.
Not bad. not bad. You'll get some Twitter comments about it, I'm sure.
But, yeah, so, and like I said, the tattoos... I don't know if they're going to keep it too close to Heath Ledger, or maybe they're going to bounce him back and forth a little bit. I'm hoping the tattoos are just like something he did in jail to fuck around. You know,
Possibly.
He put in a grill and put these tattoos in just because that's the thing to do. I'm in jail. What else should I do?
The one thing I noticed is, for me, the trailer kind of seemed like the Harley Quinn show.
A little bit. The bits...
Because she was in it a lot. A lot. And I guess the best way I could describe her at this point, I would say she kind of has the psycho cheerleader kind of vibe is what I'm getting.
Yeah, because I'm not real big on Harley. Like, I don't know,
like cheerleaders from hell.
Yeah, and I don't know a ton about Harley Quinn, but like in the cartoons and the bits and pieces I've seen, she always just seems almost like a female Joker. She's psychotic, but playful about it. You know, a kid with a magnifying glass.
Right. And then very codependent when it comes to her man. But I don't really see, that's the thing. That was one thing I was going to point out. I don't get that impression from her in that trailer that she doesn't seem codependent on the Joker.
Well, and she doesn't really have any scenes with him though, so maybe they'll play on that. But she seems more damaged in the pieces I saw than actually like psychotic. You know, she seems more like just a kid that's, you know, lost her way. You know, when the lady comes walking by, she's like, "Are you the devil?" And maybe,
Yeah. Oh, Amanda Waller, the girl you're talking about,
the lady in red.
Maybe the lady that's you know that's talking, sitting at the dinner with the two guys and talking about how she can get somebody to work against their best interests. Yeah, Amanda Waller. Which I think, okay, the argument that we've been making forever about the whole continuity thing when it comes to the universe, that's the same person who plays Amanda Waller in the Arrow series.
Oh, okay.
So same actress, same character on the television show.
I don't remember seeing her in Arrow.
How's that?
That's cool. Because I thought they've said that they're...
I want to say it was Arrow or The Flash. One of the two. But I want to say Arrow.
I know they said they weren't going to have the TV show and the movies tie into the same universe. They were kind of saying that they were separate, but is that just kind of a bob and weave move to trick people, I guess?
It seems like a bob and weave move because that's Amanda Waller.
Because how badass would it be to see the scene from The Dark Knight Returns where Stephen Amell just shows up as the Green Arrow
and shoots Superman.
Yeah, what if that was the best kept secret in the world? How fucking dope would that be?
Oh my god!
You're like, oh no, he's doing that Turtles movie. You know, he's not in this. The other big thing that really jumped out at me on this trailer was it seems like there's a lot of Will Smith in this too.
Yes, that was the other thing I was going to say. Yes, it's the Harley Quinn show, but it also seems like the Deadshot show.
Yeah. So what are we?
You saw a whole plethora of Will Smith in this one.
What are we? Some kind of Suicide Squad?
Ah, that's why they call it that.
Yeah. And then you have him, all right, let's go save the world. You know, he's got those one-liners from like Independence Day.
I mean, you had to expect that. You had to expect that Deadshot would get a more prominent, would get kind of bumped up in the script a little. You had to expect that. It's Will Smith. I mean, out of all the actors in this movie that are playing the Suicide Squad, I mean, Will Smith's the one that has star power.
Yeah, I mean, he's the one that pulls in, you know, $50 million checks to do movies.
Right.
And I think in the Arrow TV series, the guy who plays Deadshot in that show was the one who calls him the Suicide Squad too. So I don't know if that's a staple of Deadshot's role. Is that kind of talker? I'm just not real sure. Because again, I don't really know a ton about that character.
Right. Super sniper. That's about as far as I go with it.
And and the only other part I saw is Killer Croc is in this.
Yes.
Looked good. I thought he looked all right.
Yeah. I had no complaints. So you had Killer Croc, Psycho Cheerleader Harley Quinn, which I mean she looked nice. I'm not gonna lie. I think I don't know, maybe I have a thing for weird and twisted, but
yeah, but it's just not weird and twisted enough for me. Like I'm expecting Zombie's wife from House of a Thousand Corpses, you know? That's what I want. That's who I want as my Harley Quinn.
Well, maybe you'll get that. You don't know.
Maybe that's Harley Quinn's daughter. So she's
maybe it's more closer to like Devil's Rejects, Sherry Moon Zombie.
Yeah, I can only hope. That was such a great movie. Torture me all she wants. All right, we gotta take a break. I'll be right back.
Okay, so since we're going down this DC road and we're talking about Batman, I know you have something that you were very super excited about.
I just saw pictures of it. I haven't heard any storylines or how it's gonna work. I've already tweeted about it. The picture is actually the backdrop on my phone now. But they are going to do a Turtles Batman crossover comic.
How did you ever think that this would happen in your life?
They did Turtles and Ghostbusters, and I thought that was the farthest they'd ever go. I would expect I would expect Turtles, My Little Pony crossover before I would look at Turtles Batman crossover. I mean, could you imagine? I don't know where they're gonna put it because it's DC, so I'm sure DC's got the pull on it. They're the ones probably writing it. But could you imagine Batman fighting Shredder?
That was my first thought.
Badass that would
exactly
be.
my first thought.
You just see Batman walk up, beat the shit out of Shredder, like toss him the keys.
Batman and the Shredder.
Tosses the keys to the kids with his old bat van. Says, "All right, took care of your shit, kids. Go take the car and get me a pizza."
Well, see, because Batman's got those things on his wrists, and so then like Shredder's got those things on his wrists, and they just be like banging their wrists back and forth.
Yeah.
So see, all you had to do was wait and hope, and it finally happened. This is like your peanut butter and chocolate.
We've seen fan-made movies of Batman fighting Alien and Batman fighting Predator. So,
which was very cool, by the way.
Oh yeah, the guy who played Joker in that was pretty awesome.
That is. Hang on, I'm thinking.
It's Jared Leto.
I'm trying to. It's no, it's fuck. I'm trying to think the actor's name.
I didn't realize he actually.
He was Chekhov in the original Star Trek series.
Oh,
this is killing me. Eric Koenig.
He played the Joker in that fan movie?
Yes.
Huh.
Well, no, not him. It's his son.
Oh, okay. That makes
Walter
sense.
Koenig. There it is. It took me a second. Walter Koenig's son is who plays Joker in that fan-made movie.
Huh. I thought he did a pretty decent job.
I liked him as the Joker, and this was pre-Heath Ledger. I was like, he'd be a good Joker.
Yeah, I still hold true the guy who played Walsh. I think he would pull off a good Joker. Because he'd be the more comic book, cartoon-esque Joker, which obviously from the trailers we've seen on these, that's not the Joker we're getting.
I think I guess if there's one thing I could if you're forcing me to pick at something when it comes to Jared Leto, at this point I would just say it's the teeth. Like the teeth are fucking with me for some reason.
The grill thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm trying to, because the part where he's walking in, I guess we're already done with the Turtles and Batman because there isn't much news that I saw besides it's happening. So I've already got my boner for that. But I'm hoping because when Leto walks in, it's during what looks to be his escape. You see some gunfire going on, so somebody's breaking him out of prison, is what it looks like. And so his last ditch effort before he leaves is he's gonna fuck with Dr. Quinn, Harley Quinn, which. And that's
Dr. Harley Quinn, medicine woman.
Yeah, I just thought about that. And that's what threw me off. I kind of started going down a thought of, Dr. Quinn and Jane Seymour, and yeah, that's a lady I have attraction for. So I'm kind of hoping like the grill and the tattoos is just stuff he'd put on to fuck with people. So when he's out, like after all this, it just wipes off. Like there's some scene.
I doubt that would happen, but I mean, I don't know how he's going to end up looking. I want to see him in a suit. I want to see him in the suit.
There's a part where you see him walking. There's some bigger guy walking in front of him pointing out stuff, and you see Jared Leto with like a trench coat on. So you just see the top of his head. But I mean, again, it's not enough to really judge, the full thought on it.
So Shawn, it's time for an ad.
It's time for what?
It's time for an advertisement. Shawn, can you hear me?
What's up, man? What's going on?
Are you there?
Can you hear me?
What? Oh.
Dude, are you still using those shitty headphones?
I swear to God, no. Listen to me. I swear to God, I have these stupid fucking headphones. They keep cutting out on me, and all I want to do is I want to rip them off my face, and I want to set them on fire. I want to set them on fire.
Well, can you take them back?
But then no, I can't take them back. No, I can't take. You know why? Because it's something electronic, and in the world we live in, there is no place I could take headphones back because everything nothing comes with a warranty anymore.
Well, dude, stop. Listen. I've got the thing for you. Have you ever heard of tweaked audio?
No, I haven't. It sounds tantalizing.
Tweaked Audio. It's tweakedaudio.com. If you go there, I mean, they have lifetime warranties on these headphones.
They have wait. You just said lifetime warranty. So
Lifetime warranty, man. And you know what's better than that? They got free shipping.
free shipping.
Free shipping. And if on top of that, so like what can be better than a lifetime warranty, free shipping? What would be one better thing I could add on top of that?
I'm waiting with bated breath. What is there?
How about if you use the discount code LOB Army, they'll give you an extra 33% off just for our listeners.
Wait a minute. So since I listen to the podcast, then I can go and get headphones, have them shipped to me for no cost. They have a lifetime warranty, and I save money just because I listen to two guys bullshit.
Yep, just because you listen to us bullshit, man.
Oh my God.
Go to tweakedaudio.com, use the promo code LOB Army, and you'll get an extra 33% off. I mean, it's Tweaked Audio, man. It just sounds better.
Oh, I love it. Batman and the Turtles, which I know you were super psyched about. I'm surprised you didn't lead off with that. Like, welcome to Language of Bromance, Batman and the Turtles! Batman and the Turtles!
What's up, everybody? I'm Richard. Batman Turtles! Batman Turtles! Batman. Hero with a cow. Batman power.
I don't know. I feel like okay, so since you're blowing your geek wad there at Batman Turtles, I'm gonna also do mine with Star Wars. I was so excited. They had the Star Wars panel. This is the first time that we've had an actual Star Wars panel in Hall H at Comic-Con. So I was super pumped. And what did we get to see? We got to see 3.5 minute footage, like behind the scenes stuff of them on Tatooine, like filming in Tunisia, and then filming the fucking inside of the Millennium Falcon. You saw it, and I saw it. The inside of it, and they're walking around like it's no thing. And who else was in this? Who's talking while they're showing this stuff? And they're playing this music that's like pulling at my heartstrings a little. But Mark Hamill is talking about like these are real sets, and they're using practical effects. He's like a lot's changed, but in some ways nothing's changed. And I'm like, and then they start playing the music. The John Williams music kicks in, and you hear sound effects, and it shows them filming flying around in a TIE fighter. And and at one point, I saw from behind. They have one bit. It's from behind, but you see Han and Leia sitting down in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon. Now I'm pausing for effect here because I'm not gonna lie, I teared up.
You're not pausing for effect. You're just trying to hide your tears, and
it's there. There it is. So you have this 3.5 minute thing, which also in this little short, I noticed Simon Pegg is in the movie.
Yeah, I haven't really even heard anything of him being in the movie. Like, there's been nothing that I've heard of saying Simon Pegg's in this flick.
I think it looks like he's just kind of an extra from what I've noticed. It's just like, Simon Pegg as, alien number 5 in the left.
Yeah, just getting to fulfill one of his fantasies.
Because it looks like he's in like a prosthetic like suit, not just, makeup on the face. It looks like there's something that like he's wearing, like a full-on like prosthetic animatronic suit. So I think it's going to be one of those things where you don't even know it's him until someone's like, hey, that's Simon Pegg. The guy in that suit, that's Simon Pegg.
Kind of like Nathan Fillion in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right.
So is there anything else that really jumped out from that besides kind of the behind-the-scenes stuff? Because, I mean, I've only saw little bits of that. But they didn't look like there was anything that really showed much on the story. That like there's not like the Batman trailer where you get stuff to really talk about. This is just like, hey, this is how we're making this flick. This is what we're doing.
Well, if you combine that with watching the full panel, which I got to like the full panel. You had the whole cast up there. You had the new actors with what they're now calling the legacy characters. So Carrie Fisher, Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, Peter Mayhew, they're all sitting there on the Comic-Con panel stage. And like as soon as like the end all be all apparently is Han Solo, because once Harrison Ford stepped out, that's when everybody stood up. They're like, holy shit, it's Han fucking Solo. Han fucking Solo, guys.
Go get him, Han Solo.
Go get him, Han Solo.
Dude, that was just a movie.
Dude, I stood up. I think I was at work and I was watching it on my phone and I stood up and I was like, it's Harrison Ford. I'm so excited. But one thing I was going to say, they announced, well, didn't really announce, but one thing that they kind of revealed during the panel was who the names of the actual quote unquote bad guys. And I know you haven't watched, are you caught up on Game of Thrones?
I mean, I've seen up to not this newest season, but I know Brianna Tarth.
That's good. Okay. The girl who plays Brienne of Tarth in Game of Thrones, the tall blonde, like big blonde girl.
Yeah, the badass sword fighter lady.
Yeah, she is in episode 7, which I think I'm pretty sure I told you already. But okay, do you remember during the actual trailer you saw the scene where you have that stormtrooper clad in like fucking chrome? Like that chrome armor?
Like a Boba Fett type armor looking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's her.
Nice. Because did she come out on stage in that outfit, or did they just revealed that was her?
I think they just revealed that was her. They put up the portraits of the characters and then put their names underneath, like the character names and I think the actors' names as well.
Did did her name, that the character she played, do you know that character at all from any of the canon?
No. Like the character names all seem new to me. So, which I'm fine with. You know why? Because Harrison Ford is in it and he's flying the Millennium Falcon. And Chewie's sitting there and Luke's in it with a lightsaber. I just shove and take all my money. All of it. Every single fucking dime I own. Take it all. Just have it.
Did they announce, or has it already been known? I guess they're gonna do a solo Han Solo movie.
Oh my god!
Like an origin
solo
story?
Han Solo.
Yeah.
They announced who the writers were, and I can't think of their names right now, and that makes me angry.
Han Solo in Hawaii.
I think it's the guys that did the Lego movie.
Okay.
And a couple. I mean, they've done a couple other ones, but they did the Lego movie. That's who's slated to write and direct this. I guess for the Han Solo prequel.
Yeah,
kind of like the Han Solo origin story.
Yeah, how he meets Chewie, how he gets his boat, probably.
Yeah.
Because it was the Lego movie, guys. Because I remember hearing that story. Because anytime you think of anything in that atmosphere, like Indiana Jones, who do you think of? Chris Pratt. You know, Han Solo origin movie, who do you think of? Chris Pratt. And then now you hear Lego.
So you're saying that they're going to cast Chris Pratt as young Han Solo?
I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, I think he would fit.
Like, not again.
Yeah. He seems to fit. I know they've already kind of said, well, he should probably be the Indiana Jones. So,
see, now we're gonna see him, and like it's gonna be like, oh, here's the Sabrina remake, starring Chris Pratt.
He's gonna get fat again at some point, so he can start playing fat characters then too. I think that's his goal.
Here's Air Force One with Chris Pratt as the president of the United States.
What was the
Chris Pratt like, get off of my plane?
What was the Tom Clancy movie that Harrison Ford was in?
Oh, was it Patriot Games?
Yeah, he's gonna be in the Patriot Games
or Hunt for Red October.
Yeah, I thought he was in that one. He'll remake. Let's see, what movie was that? What's the movie where he goes to the Amish?
Oh, Witness.
Yeah, they can remake Witness
With Chris Pratt.
Yeah, with Chris Pratt.
I could see it. I could see all of these things happening, and I'm okay with it.
I just, I mean, I could imagine being Chris Pratt right now. Like, you know, you've done a few TV shows, a few things, and now you got 2 movies that you've probably made more money in, you know, this year than you would have made.
And this is a guy that lived in he literally lived in a van and had like no hope and no prospects and lived in a van. And now he's fucking Chris Pratt, you know?
Yep. And I've heard
that's awesome.
And I've heard he's pretty humble too. Like he hasn't he's not a dick about it or anything.
Yeah. There was a story I heard Kevin Smith tell about meeting Chris Pratt that he was with somebody. I don't remember who he said he was with, but like, you know, it wasn't anybody famous or anything like that. And he walks up to Chris Pratt and they start chit-chatting and having a conversation or whatever. And then, you know, a couple other people are talking to him too and whatever. And in the middle of the conversation, he stops. He stops everybody talking. He's like, "Excuse me, I'm sorry," and holds his hand out to the girl that was just standing there. It's like, "Hi, I'm Chris."
She's like, "Oh yeah, no shit."
But I mean, Kevin was saying, you know, he's like the fact that like he didn't have like he meets people all the time. Like he's a movie star, and the fact that he actually like stopped for a second and was like, "Excuse me, I'm being rude. Hello, my name is."
Yeah. Well, it's interesting you bring up Kevin Smith now. So talking about Star Wars and Hall H, Kevin Smith.
I thought this was. I mean, I feel bad, but it was funny, and it also not only is it funny, but it also made me so wish I was at Comic-Con.
Well, it's funny because so the story is, I'm sure everybody knows. So Kevin Smith was following the Star Wars panel, and I think there's only been 1 year that Hall H hasn't been packed for him. Like you said, 6,000 people, and it's always packed. Right at the end, I guess, of the Star Wars panel, they're like, "Hey, you know, who wants to go to a Star Wars concert?" Everybody's like, "Woo!"
A free Star Wars concert for everybody, and everybody's like, "Ah!"
Like, "All right, everybody,
and they all leave.
Yeah, let's go." And I mean, it still was like 2,000 people, I guess, but just in that big of a hall, it seems small.
Yeah, in like a 6,500 seat theater, like 2,000 people doesn't look like much.
And I bet you there's a ton of people kicking themselves at the con because I'm sure there was probably 3,000 people who would have loved to have been there, or 4,000 people.
Oh, totally.
But they're like, it's always packed. Everybody's been waiting in line. There's no way I'm going to get to it. And you hear that story the next day, be like, "Oh yeah, it was a third full." Like, well, son of a bitch.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've heard him talk about it a couple times, and he was like, "I don't fault anybody for it because I mean, you know, it's a cool thing. Like if I didn't have this Q&A to do, like I would have gone. I would have been out there. Like, you fucking kidding me?" He's like, "I'm sitting there and I'm doing the thing. I'm doing my thing. And like you can hear it coming. You can hear it from the outside." He's like, "Because the thing is happening literally across the street." He's like, and everybody was sitting there and like just oh
yeah. It's
like maybe we should go to the concert.
It's like a teacher that releases the students, like, "All right, you guys can go play." So the only other tidbit that I saw from Comic-Con was with one of my favorite actors ever, Ryan Reynolds, and the Deadpool trailer. They were, I don't know if it was.
Do you just love his abs? Are you in love with his abs?
Dude, that dude is so massive. Like, yeah, I have a huge man crush on that dude. Like, that's the kind of guy I want to look like.
I could see. I could see that. I could get that.
Because I mean, you no. All right, we gotta take a break. I'll be right back.
Oh God.
But, you know, this is a movie that's been in the making for ever since Wolverine origin story.
Yeah, that X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Yeah. And I guess they had started filming some of this stuff and, you know, it got leaked online a year or two ago, and that's what really pushed this to get out there, which, you know, That's the thing that I've kind of learned from this Comic-Con is there's like the Suicide Squad trailer was supposedly leaked. You know, the Deadpool thing was supposedly leaked. Why don't they just put that stuff out there? I don't know why they try to be so secretive about a lot of that.
I would say that I would think that part of it is, you know, hey, if we don't release it, then it seems like something people will seek out, and so it helps us gauge interest, I guess. But also, because I mean, like, okay, you take like the Batman Superman thing, like that trailer premiered at Comic-Con. And then, like, that day it was online. Like, that day the studio released it online. But it seemed like with Suicide Squad, you didn't really get that. And I think part of that was they're trying to kind of, if they see, you know, how good it takes off, people watching the trailer, I think it kind of helps them gauge interest on the movie.
But yeah, I mean, you release that right away, and you know, you see all the links getting shared, and you're getting all the hits. I mean, why not just release it right then yourself, like they did with Batman v Superman?
Yeah, I don't know, but the Deadpool trailer looked awesome to me.
Yeah, it looked like a comic book movie we haven't seen yet. I mean, Guardian of the Galaxy-esque, like I think we're just going to be really surprised by it. And I've tried to get into
like, hey, let's try and be funny and throw in some action.
Yeah, but not just be funny.
That's Deadpool's character. I am curious to see if we're going to get that whole kind of fourth wall that you get from the Deadpool comics.
Yeah, they've already said they are. And in the trailer, you see him, it's little, but he looks at the camera and says, cue the music.
Yeah.
But that's, I mean, like you said, like there's action comedy and there's, you know, over the top violence, and it's rated R. It's not, you know, this isn't a PG-13 movie. They're not trying to sell this to, you know, underage people. Like, no, this is a rated R movie. This is what you want. This is what we're making.
Oh, and you got that from the trailer. You got that from the trailer in spades.
Oh yeah.
My favorite line was the your face looks like Freddy Krueger face fucked a topographical map of Utah.
You look like a guacamole fucked an older guacamole. I listened to a little bit of the panel, and I guess they said some of the jokes were so mean in that they had to cut a lot of it. And I guess Ryan Reynolds would get home and be thinking about this, so he'd call up the director and be like, hey, you know that thing we shot today? Can you make sure that nobody ever sees that? Because there's a lot of, you know, groups out there that would probably send me a lot of hate mail and pick it.
When it came to the Deadpool trailer, I heard that they actually played it twice.
Oh, really? Why'd they?
I saw clips. I saw bits and pieces of the panel, and so they showed the trailer because this was the 20th Century Fox panel. Because you got the they showed some stuff from Fantastic Four, and some of the cast from the new X-Men Apocalypse movie was there, and then Ryan Reynolds was there, and they showed the Deadpool trailer, and people just like went to their feet and fucking fell in love with it. And they were like clamoring to see it again. And from what I understand, like the panel was running a little long.
Okay.
And I don't know who had the microphone, but they were like, I know we're running a little late, but I have the microphone, so fuck it. Let's see it again. And so the
Nice.
lights go out, and then they show the trailer again.
Yeah, I'm pretty pumped for that one. And that comes out next year too, right? Like March?
Oh, yeah, that's 2016. I'm not sure when, but it's 2016. Yeah, that's one I'm actually kind of psyched for, because I liked Deadpool. It was one of the more offbeat, not, you know, big Marvel characters that I liked. For me, it was kind of Deadpool, Silver Surfer, because I wasn't really into Spider-Man. I didn't read a lot of the Avengers, or, you know, my dad was really big into Captain America and Thor, but I never read those. I mean, I read them, but I wasn't into the characters. But Deadpool for me was always one I liked. I liked him when he was in the what was it called? He was in the X-Force with Cable and Shatterstar and Cannonball, and
Yeah, and I'm wondering if this takes off really well. Maybe we get an X-Force movie. I'm assuming they own that because I heard X-Force dropped.
Good.
But
That would be good.
But I mean, that's what we get this time of year. I mean, it's a San Diego Comic-Con. It's the mecca for nerd news, and you get awesome trailers like this. If you look at all the movies coming out in the next 5 years, I mean, you're just going to get more and more of this. But I'm gonna throw this up to you so you can throw out some of your Richard's closing thoughts on San Diego Comic-Con 2015.
I would say that this year I would probably say was a bit bigger than a lot of other years. Not just, the trailers and DC and comics and all that. It seems like Comic-Con has now become this mecca event. I mean, we're at the point now, Conan O'Brien moved his entire production show to San Diego for 3 days just for Comic-Con. He broadcasted from San Diego simply because of Comic-Con. Did it from a theater, did a whole kind of comic book sci-fi kind of set on stage. He had the X-Men, he had the cast from the X-Men movie there. He had the Game of Thrones cast there. Peter Capaldi is Doctor Who. That was the other thing. You got fucking Doctor Who was at this one. And this was his first year. And he was overwhelmed. And it's an event like no other. And I hope and pray to all the geek gods that every single one of you get to go before you die, because it's awe-inspiring. It really is.
It's on every nerd's bucket list.
It has to be. And if it isn't, what the fuck is the matter with you? It's something that you have, that I feel like every geek, nerd, whoever, fan. It's something that everyone should do in your life at least once.
Well, I will do an event right now. It's not as big as Comic-Con, but it's one of my favorite things in the world to do. I will do a little bit of housekeeping right now.
Yeah, you like to clean up. Clean me up after this fucking nerdgasm.
Visit our website. We're at languageofbromance.com. Follow us on Twitter at languageofbro. Email us at eatthebeaver@languageofbromance.com. Like us on Facebook and subscribe and leave a review on iTunes and Stitcher Radio.
And also, don't forget to check us out on the Pod Bros Network.
The best podcast site on the internet for all your San Diego Comic-Con news. All those guys are going to be talking about it.
Yeah, they will.
And also, if you're in the need for some earbuds, go over to tweakedaudio.com, use our promo code LOBARMY, and you will get, what will you get off, Richard?
You'll get 33% off your headbuds and earphones.
They got free shipping and a lifetime warranty.
That's forever.
Forever.
Well, I mean,
lifetime.
Forever for you. It's your forever. It's not like something you can pass on to your kids, I guess. I mean, you could, but they won't get free headphones if they break after that.
Well, at that point, they won't be earbuds. They'll just be like little implants that, Bluetooth into your head.
Yeah. Yeah. And really, if headphones, I mean, if that's your estate that you're passing on, if you're writing that in the will, we need to reevaluate some things.
All right. Well, anything else before I close her out?
And my tweaked audio headphones I bequeath to my son. No, that's all I got.
All right. Well, that's all the bromance we have for this show. I'm Shawn.
And I'm Richard.
And I say we eat the beaver.
Yeah.
I'm not going to kill you. I'm just going to hurt you a lot. Is that better?
It's bad. I mean, you should work on it.
All right. We'll get it down. I got 6 months.
Keep at it. I believe in you.
I believe in Shawn Dent. Maybe that's my part.